Alrighty, guys, here we are again. So remember, we're looking at problem 5-68 in section 522. What is a logarithm? And remember, we're talking about the inverse of the exponential function, okay? And over the last video, we went over the how we found the inverse, and we're using this example here, right? And we were looking at the previous two problems. 5-56 and 5-57. So if you haven't done those again, you should go back and do those because you will not understand what we're doing here. Okay, so one more time, in the last video I left off that we were redefining what each of these were. And then in this problem, you guys had to finish these um, 8 problems, right? You had to rewrite them. So what is the inverse? So like what is this thing that we call the log? And I said it is about just rewriting the exponent, right? Because this is the inverse. So let me take another one. Let's say log of 5, base 5, 25 equals 2. Okay. So what I wanted you guys to understand is that it is another way of it's the inverse way of rewriting the logarithm. So this is what we call the base. So we're going to drop the base, okay, and then switch, right, the two values. So this becomes 5 to the second power equals 25. And I think those of you guys that have been with me, you guys have seen this before. So what we're looking at here is looking at the what we call the inverse of an exponent, right? So we have this thing called a log, okay? And it's the same thing we were looking at here, except here we're looking at it graphically. Here we're looking at it as written out. Okay. So I'm gonna erase this real quick, and you could always go back and review the video if you need to. But what I want you guys to look at is now what they're asking us to do in this section 5-68 is a problem. So you might want to either hit pause on the video, and you guys are gonna create a table. And this table has all the values that I had in this table here. And I'm going to transfer them over to Desmos. Okay. So here we have all the values. And you got, like I said, you guys could take pause, you take a little pause there and then do the table. And it's going to give you guys an actual graph. Okay. Or it's giving you guys the idea of a graph. Now we got to figure out what's the missing values here though. So what are my missing values here? Okay. And we had said we that we were doing this before, and this is the problem from section 521, problem 556. Look at what we did here, right? This is my exponential function, and we use these same points and we switched them around, and it gave me the other orange points, which is the inverse, right? So let's think about the relationship here. What do we notice, right? What do we notice is happening? Okay. Between these two graphs. And now over here, look at the set of values, okay? Look at the set of values. How are these related to each other? Maybe take a minute to look at this. How are these values related here? 64 and 6, 8 and 3, they give me 1/2 and -1. And then they want us to look again back to 557, which was this problem that I was just talking about, right? So remember, these things called logs could be written as exponents, right? And what is happening here in this graph? Okay. So if you haven't seen the connection here between the graph we had done before, between these table and between the problems, let me explain. What we're looking at here, you guys, 8 and 3. So how do you get 8? How is 8 related to 3, right? So remember what the graph we were doing, it was the exponent, right? So if I have 2 and I put it to the third power, what is it going to be equal to? To 8, because 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. Okay. So this is what I want you guys to look at. Okay. You guys are going to complete this table. Okay. And I just gave you guys a big hint. So for the rest of this problem, fill in your table, and you guys are going to see what you guys get here in your graph. Okay. And this is what you guys are going to send and attach to your assignment. Okay.